Welcome back to Is It Canon? My name is Anne, this is Tom, and we have a new guest today. We have the cover artist and interior artist from VeeFriends, Kate Windels. Kate, how are you?
Can't complain. Doing good.
That's always good. Did I say your name correct?
You did.
Awesome.
Yeah, you put the S at the end. If you don't put the S at the end, it means diaper in German. We found out.
I'm German.
Okay, so yeah, you know.
You didn't mention that, Anne. Could have thrown that out at any time. So, all right. So Kate Diaper. Cool. Well, artist, VeeFriends staff artist, and the interior artist of issues 4, 6, and 7.
Yes. Correct. I think I have a cover on each one, but
yeah, for sure.
That's a given.
And really, really loving the stuff. But before we get into issue 4, which will be the focus of this episode, we want to know a little bit more about Kate Comics. Can you give us a little background?
I really like comic books, so that's the start. When people usually ask what got me into comics, it's for most comic artists, it's just like, I didn't see anything else I wanted to do at age 10, and it's kind of tunnel vision. Since then, I got into comics because I really liked stories, but I wasn't very good at reading as a kid. So like comics are like a mix of movies and books, kind of. And I was always drawing. So that was like my big thing. So like since age 10 onward, it's been like the same tunnel vision trajectory to get to comics. And now I'm doing it full time, which is crazy.
That's awesome. And I feel like a lot of people don't get to do that. So it was always comics. It was never, I'm going to be an artist or, do paintings and that. It was comics because you liked storytelling.
It was really weird. I grew up in a very rural town. So we had, of course, no comic book store. And like my impression of comics was like only the funnies in the newspaper. And it never computed to me that there's comic book artists until I was watching the special features of Spider-Man 1. And they talked about who Jack Kirby was and who Steve Ditko was. And I was like, wait, that's a job? So that's how I learned about them, not through their actual comic books. And it was like that day, I was like, okay, so that's what it is. I always generally said artist, and then I specified comic artist. And it's still that. So nothing else seemed interesting.
I feel like a lot of people start out with having it as a hobby and maybe having another job on the side. Mm-hmm. When did you feel like now it's a job? Like I can support myself, like I really dove into it? Or was it right away for you because you started so early on?
I guess my first impression of like anything you start is kind of for fun, but I made these little mini comic books of my own characters that totally weren't ripoffs of Marvel characters that already existed. But they were just these tiny little comic books that I drew them, and I gave them out to my classmates. And that's kind of how I like established that. That was like the first time I like made something where I'm like, I want other people to see it. And then I guess when it started feeling like a job was when people started to pay me for it after college.
Yeah, that'll do it.
That's a definition of a job for most people.
That's right. But it's also validation, right? Because then that's what you've always wanted. So that's when it becomes really real. It's like people are paying money for what I love to do.
Wow, what I do has value. That's insane.
Yeah, it's very cool.
When you first started with VeeFriends, do you feel like is it different to work on the VeeFriends universe versus the art and the universes you worked on before?
Like yes and no. I don't have as much experience as a lot of members of our team, like DJ and Jim and all that. But in a lot of the projects I worked on, I was given a lot of creative freedom. And it's the same way at VeeFriends. Like if I just walked up to DJ and I was like, I have a really great idea for like this character, he'd be like, yeah, okay, we can do that. So the creative freedom's really nice, but yet I haven't really made comic books for like a brand yet. So that's what's really different for me. I'm like, oh, there's already like a fan base and there's certain expectations for that. But it's not like, it's like VeeFriends are like everything, you know, they can literally be anything. So that's where like the creative freedom comes in. So it's not like we have a brand identity to like really adhere to with the comics. So it's a bit of everything. I'm too young in the game to give a better answer.
No, I mean, I did see that you had some personal projects though, Refrigerator Girl, right? And I think you had a Kickstarter. Are you allowed, now that you're on the VeeFriends team, to work on? Is there any sort of stipulation? I'm sure you don't have time for anything, but if you wanted to, could you? Like, do they have any restrictions on that?
They don't. That was one of the first things I asked DJ, where I was like, "Hey, so if Marvel finally messages me to do that Wolverine comic that I dream about, can I do that?" And he was like, "Yeah, of course." I just don't get to sleep if that happens.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Yeah, listen, as long as you get to make comics, I feel like you'll be happy.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to speak for you, but it seems like that's this going theme is if I can just continue to make comics, that's just what I want to do. And
that's
if they
literally it.
Yeah, and if they give you creative freedom, that's even better because I feel like that's not the case when you work for Marvel, DC. You know, you have to know decades of back history and you know what's the where's the who's dead, who's alive. You know what I mean? Like it's you can't just
continuity, all the continuity. Yeah. As the artist, you don't have to worry about that as much, but I don't think I could ever be a Marvel writer. That seems so hard. And everyone hates you.
You can never do anything right unless it's like perfect and like monumental. Speaking of Marvel and DC, I mean, you obviously are a big Wolverine fan. You said that at the end of the comic. Fantastic Four, you just mentioned The Thing is your guy. So were you more of a Marvel girl growing up?
Always. I always was. Yeah, I liked Spider-Man and I liked Wolverine, and those were like my main dudes. Sometimes I would get into Batman, but that's just because I watched the Dark Knight movie and I was like, oh, he was so cool in that, and I never read any of the comics at that point.
I mean, he is pretty cool.
He is very cool. He's kind of everything, which makes him even cooler. Yeah. I really like their latest Absolute Batman run, but everyone likes it right now.
Yeah, I haven't read it yet. But that's the one with all the crazy designs of like the redesigns of all the characters, right?
Mm-hmm. They're changing the universe and still trying to make it familiar. Like they've done everything with Batman, so there's only so much you can do to make it still similar while being really different. So it's neat. It's neat to see that, and the new Wonder Woman. They're good. But yeah, always Marvel. Still always Marvel for me.
Do you still have a current pull list? Do you still every Wednesday going to get comics?
Every Wednesday I get mostly Gail Simone's X-Men runs. Right now she's doing mostly Uncanny X-Men, but she's writing for others. I get Power Fantasy is a comic I do. I do Exquisite Corpses. Hi, Coco. And what else is on my pull list right now? And the new Doctor Doom series. Those are my main ones right now. Oh, and Storm, the Storm series too.
Very cool. Sorry, Anne. So just a little background on us. I'm a very long time comic book reader and fan. Anne is newer. She's into it, getting into it from VeeFriends comics. So we give that dual perspective, and I keep doing this with, the artists that have come on because I'm interested in it. And I think I know she actually doesn't mind because people are interested in that as well. But I appreciate Coco kind of resetting the room because is this the inspiration behind?
No, but she is inspiring new and different things. So she'll be in a comic later. Dahlia's too old and sits on the couch at this point in the night. She's done her work for the day. Otherwise, she would be on my desk.
Okay. Well, for anyone who doesn't know, Kate does credit one of her cats. What's her name?
Dahlia.
Dahlia as an inspiration behind the design of the Harpik in issue number 4, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Did you get to pick the Harpik, or was it pitched to you that you're going to do the Harpik?
It was pitched to me. DJ approached me and he was like, hey, we have a comic project I think you'd be good for, because he'd seen some of my fantasy work where I redesigned the Stranger Things characters as D&D characters is what he saw. So yeah, Harpik was the first and for sure one. which was cool. I really liked it. I thought it was really cute.
How long were you on the team before you got pitched or told? Were you on the team at that point where he came to you for that?
Yeah, that was a freelance job. I did Harpik and I did Viking freelance, and then DJs were like, we can't let her go anywhere else, obviously. So, and yeah, locked me in, which was
because
cool.
you weren't at the first summit, right? You were at the second one, the comic summits.
I'm thinking, I was at the second one. I can't remember. Yes.
The one with Jim Rugg?
Yes.
Was the second one. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a really fun weekend. Or week.
That sounds cool.
Weekend. Yeah,
every
it was very
cool. Time someone comes on and talks about it, Anna and I are just like, oh God, that sounds like so much fun and creative and cool. To be a fly on the wall there would be amazing.
It'd be really funny. I'm sure out of context it would. I'm sure you guys will see the videos of it one day.
Oh yeah, right. Because when the documentary comes out, I'm sure we'll get to see a lot of behind the scenes.
Yeah. There's so much.
It's not going to be just one movie. It's going to have to be a whole series. Like, there's so much documentation.
Seriously, though, it will.
How did you approach the Harpik? Did you go more for like what the character looked like, the trait, or what the story was kind of about? Like, how did you make the decision of like how to change up the Harpik?
I went with basically what I was comfortable drawing in my style, because I still don't think I'm like very good at drawing animals or like cutesy anthropomorphic things. So I was like, are you sure you want me to do this, DJ? And he's like, you can redesign it however you want. So I kind of came up with a design inspired by, of course, my cat and like kind of how I like other characters drawn. So very similar to how Mike Mignola, the creator of Hellboy, draws some of his characters. And just like trying to keep it cartoony without being realistic. So I had to like find a happy middle of like, this has to be cute and not scary, Caitlin, because I draw a lot of horror as well. So, and they seemed down with it. Like, I'm like, I just drew something that seemed right to me. And DJ was like, yeah, sure. Yeah. Like I said, they have a lot of creative freedom they give us.
That's great though, but like, because there was a creepy vibe. I mean, it was part of the story, so that is a good aesthetic for you. I mean, and then it turns out, we learn in the issue that the Harpik doesn't eat people; he eats clean.
I personally like that there's so many different styles because everybody is drawn to a different style, and I feel like this way there is a style for anybody. So there's multiple people who can identify with a different version of that character and that trait. Whereas if you keep it always the same and somebody just doesn't, like the series 2 ones are very cutesy. Like not everybody's interested in that. Versus yours is very different. Jim Marfoods is very different. I feel like that just opens it up to like more people actually wanting to check it out. Wanting to check out what is VeeFriends, what is this character, what is it about? And I feel like I love that VeeFriends has been so open about it. I know Chris did a couple of redesigns for like manga versions of them, and I feel like it's cool to see. I don't even see it as an evolution of them. It's not like this how it was and that's how it turned into. It's like it's the different versions of it.
Yeah, which is like a really common thing in comics too. Like you can't always get the same artist on an issue run, so the art changes up, and sometimes a lot of the audience hates it, sometimes they like it, but that's what's really cool about VeeFriends, because they're always just like, oh, well, it's kind of for everybody. So they're trying to make art for everybody, which is what I like.
When did you find out that the cover was by accident switched and yours is now the rare one?
Like a day before it happened. It was actually really funny when DJ messaged me. I was on a real tight time crunch for my next comic. And he just texted me like, Caitlin, I have good news and I have bad news. And I'm like, please don't tell me my deadline got even tighter. And he's like, no, we mixed up like the rarities on the cover. And I'm like, why are you even messaging me this? I don't care. That's not a big deal at all, DJ. And he was just like, what do you mean it's not a big deal? But it's a bigger deal for him than it is for me.
For sure.
Because I'm like, I already finished it. It's done.
I moved on.
I've moved on. I've done 3 other projects since then. But no, he let me know, and then like a few hours later, they let the fans know. So
yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, those types of things happen, in both
Yeah.
cards and comics. And when they do, it adds a layer of like uniqueness to it and collectability. You know, you have the rare one. I think, you know, and now more people are pulling mob food covers and there's less of yours. That's kind of cool. But the rarities are still on your covers, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Which
But it's
which
like, as long as the brand's honest about it,
oh,
I wouldn't get what the issue is.
yeah, no one's gonna be mad about it except Jim.
Yeah.
Maybe he was. He's like, now I'm not rare, but now more people have this guy. So like, it doesn't matter. It really
I was fine with it because I like Jim's cover way, way more because I really like his art style. So I'm like, yeah, more people can have yours. That's fine.
it was kind of cool. At Comic-Con, I got him to do the first like commission one up here.
Super
If you can
cool.
see that. So
that looks awesome.
yeah, it was just, you know, he was like, oh yeah, I can do something like that. And I, you know, we it's just fun trying to be the first one because I also got like David Mack to sign his cover here, and he actually wrote on it like, this is my first sign, and he wrote first signed on it, so it was pretty cool.
Aw, that's so sweet, actually. Comic artists are just so excited and happy whenever anyone walks up. It's like, can you do anything for me? And we're like, you want something from me?
You're gonna pay me money? Yes.
All I do is draw all day, and you want me to draw for you?
Well, you know, I've been going to Comic-Cons for like 10 years now. And yes, most of them are just appreciative. I wouldn't say all.
We all know the jaded ones, but we won't say names here, but I've met a few.
I'm sure. So of the three you worked on the interiors and the covers for, you know, you worked on 2 mini comics, 4 and 6, and then 1 full length, you know, standard 32 page or whatever it is on the Ninja. I mean, do you prefer one over the other aside from just like, well, one is less so I can hit the deadline easier or whatever, you know, but just being able to kind of flesh out a story more and maybe you have more freedom to do, you know, 6 panels versus a splash page or something like that?
That's hard to say because like I wish there was an in-between of the two because Harpik is 12 pages and the Ninja was almost 30. Like I feel like right about at 20 is like my sweet spot because that's when you start to get a little tired of drawing the characters. But then with Harpik, it's like, oh, I feel like I could have done a little bit more. So like I would say, yeah, the in-between of the two. Because like once you get past like page 22 of a story, it's like, can it just be because I've been drawing it for like 3 months at that point, like minimum.
Yeah.
So I'm just tired of looking at it.
Well, that's when they like do like the 6 panels where like the face moves, like the smile move, but it's everything is the same. I'm just joking. But
I'm weird and I really like those pages because I'm like, ooh, they're building mood. They're really, I mean, like as a comic artist, I see comics, I assume, extremely differently from you guys. So it's just like, oh, that's really clever what they did there. And they like just copy and paste a few things.
Right.
Sometimes.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I can see it being like good for stories and, you know, also hitting deadlines.
Yeah. You got to be clever sometimes.
Yeah. So I've never asked this before, so I'm actually super curious. When there's a splash page, right? So it's one big picture, and instead of 6 panels, you know, what takes longer? Because you would think like, oh, 1 page, I don't have to do the characters 6 different times. But on a split, you got to do more detail. It's a bigger thing. You probably have to add more characters or background or scenery. So like, what's easier and which do you prefer?
For me, splash pages take much longer because it's like, oh, this is like the money shot. I have to make it good and detailed. And if you look at like my panel work, I try to keep it like very simple. Like I keep the backgrounds vague. I like don't add like crazy detailed shading on the characters. It's usually just like flat black spotting. But then if like I have my moment to shine, I overthink it a lot. So like for like comparison, it can take me 5 to 8 hours to do like a regular comic page. I'll spend like easily 12 hours on like a splash page illustration just because you can spend more time with the anatomy, because when they're characters in a panel, it's just like they're placed, they're good, that's it. But you can justify it with a splash page. As far as which one I prefer, I'm gonna have to say panel pages, because I overthink splash pages too much. Which is weird, because I prefer drawing covers more. But those aren't splash pages, they're way different to me.
Well, I was just gonna say, is it similar to a cover then? Because it's, you know, one big thing, but you know, a cover, I guess, you know, doesn't have to have, I don't know. I mean, it's the face of the comic. So, you know, that's another big time to shine too. You know, it's the thing that people remember about an issue.
I think covers are easier for me, because you have to like consider how much negative space you have for like where to put the title and things like that. Like you have to consider text and everything. So it's like, oh, like half the composition is like half decided for me, and the splash page is just too many choices. I can do too many things. I need them narrowed down.
This comic has introduces like 3 human characters. I assume they were part of the story. Were there parameters of who they were, or like what they would look like, or did you decide this is who they are, so and so many females, so and so many male, like, or were they kind of given because they might be coming back at some point?
So they let me totally decide what the adventures would look like, and my favorite part about that is the main little blonde boy. He's modeled after my nephew Deegan, who's a giant D&D fan, and I'd just taken all my nieces and nephews to the Renaissance Fair, so I was already thinking about a lot of fantasy. So I was like, that one's decided. The other 2, like, we played around with, like, making one an elf and one regular human. We just went with, like, an orc and an archer girl. Like, all they had decided was, like, what weapons they would have and that they were kids. And then I got to pick the rest.
People have been, like, suggesting that in the middle that's Adam Rips.
Yeah, he's also, they do look a lot alike, actually. If we put my nephew and Adam in a room, no one else could ever be able to talk. Like, my nephew talks constantly, and Adam can talk forever if prompted correctly. So it's, I think he'd do well at VeeFriends, my nephew.
We had to cut Rips's episode into 2 because it went for like 2.5 hours. So
not even surprised. Not even surprised.
No.
That kid's got the sauce, I swear.
I just because we're kind of on that topic, we do a little segment called Favorite Panel, and we just pick one of, you know, our favorite panel. It's pretty self-explanatory, but I want to show it. This is the first time, and I'm going to try to share the screen and see how it works. I love this one. This middle panel, and it's mainly because, like, I like that the characters became like just their colors, have anything to do with anything, or is that just a creative choice? I love that. I just love the composition of it, the wizard with the hand, and it's just my favorite panel. I was looking at it way longer, mainly because of the 3 kids.
Honestly, they're just that way because it saved me a lot of time.
I love it. I always try to, you think you're saying you overthink on like a splash page. What I do, I'm like, they were definitely thinking this is an artistic choice for this, and it's bad. You're like, I just didn't want to draw their faces. But
well, it's like they were originally going to be silhouettes, because like when characters get to a certain size on a panel, it's like, don't even draw a face. It's not worth it to draw a face to me. But like they all kind of mesh together, and this is my first time drawing like a kids friendly comic, like an all ages comic. So I was like, I'm going to get so colorful with it. We're going to have so much fun. So they're all like the colors of like their clothing or like skin, basically. But that one was fun to draw. That was the first time I drew the wizard's hand like that, or lack thereof hand.
Right. I just love that. And I liked that it wasn't just a black silhouette. And that's what kind of drew me to it. I just like the colors and like how it kind of fades out towards the bottom. You know what I mean? I ended up looking at it more, and that's how I decide. It's just based on, you know, how I feel when I look at it.
Excellent choice.
Yeah.
When a character is breaking the panel, that's always fun too.
Yes. I do like that. The spear going into it. Yeah.
So 90s.
Do you have a favorite panel, Kate? Like, is there like one that you feel like you just did it and it's like, that just has the essence of what you wanted to tell, or like?
Yeah, I do actually. I thought I made a video about it, but they might not have posted it. Hold on, I got my copies down here. Got my cool Jim Mafu cover. It's always, for comic artists, it's always the panel you least expect. I think I have two. My first one is this one right here on like page 2 of just the kids walking through the forest.
Do you want me to share it so you don't have to hold it up?
You could share it. Yeah, that bitch. Yeah.
Tell us why.
Yeah, this was my first time really getting into drawing like heavy forest scenes, and I was playing around with like a lot of my brushes, because a lot of the comic art that I like that involves like being in the woods or whatever, they actually use like really basic shape language. Like the trees are just like brush strokes, and the bushes are just like blobby shapes. So this was like my first time kind of experimenting with like really dark colors and like shadowing in the woods. And I just like the contrast of colors. I just thought it was really cute. Like it's the whole essence of the story is this one for me.
Yeah, they're off on the adventure. It's the start.
Yeah, exactly.
And the Harpik's right there hanging out, watching.
He was chill. I thought I made him too obvious. And then my other favorite panels is 2 pages later, when our main blonde guy, that's my nephew, is lost in the woods. One more page. And it's mostly just silent. Yeah, these ones. Because it's like, it's for the same reasons again, where I'd like had a lot of fun, like just figuring out how to make trees not look bad. And just like watching a character move through a space, that's just the kind of comics I like.
I mean, now that you point out, it just, you accept it as background, but this is tree and it's just strokes, just.
Yeah, like each background panel I probably drew in like 5 minutes at most. If you got like enough of your creative brushes, or you just like figure out shape enough. I mean, that's what Bob Ross does. He's just like, we'll just put a happy little tree right there, and it takes him like.
I was gonna say it. I was gonna take the bait earlier when you're like, yeah, you just the bushes are blobs. I'm like, that's so Bob Ross.
That's all you got to do. It's your world. You get to make or break the rules.
I got to ask, are you a gamer at all?
No.
Oh, okay. Because I got to tell you, the first time I read this, I'm a big Legend of Zelda guy, and we actually, it's funny. I asked a similar question to Andrew Drillon, who we had on an episode already, and I thought his cover of issue 3, where Anna's dropping into VeeFriends land, looked very Hyrule with like, Breath of the Wild, open world, and one of my favorite games ever of Legend of Zelda is Ocarina of Time, where he has a little fairy that follows him around, and it's a little light. And I got that vibe from here that this looked like Navi, his fairy that wanders with him into the woods, that lights up and gives him advice and guides him sometimes. And I just, if that was a thing here.
No, unfortunate. My husband's the big Zelda guy, and I watch him play like Breath of the Wild and stuff, but I've never played it myself. I get too intimidated by video games, and I usually get like halfway through them, and I'm like, I'm going to fuck it up from here on. I better stop.
Well, the one I'm talking about is from Nintendo 64, so I mean it's over 20 years old. It's a little less intimidating, although it's
the OG, except isn't it the underwater level that everyone hates?
No, the water temple is definitely
that's impossible. I hear
it is very tough. I needed a walkthrough. I couldn't do it as a kid. I replayed it as an adult with my son, and I still needed the walkthrough. It was. I was like, what 9-year-old's beating this?
Really dedicated ones.
Yeah.
Really dedicated.
They had a lot of time back then. Anyway, I'm going to just pretend that it was anyway.
You can have that.
Thanks. Let me have it. All right.
I'm going to share mine too, since you both shared. It's this one.
Yes. Oh, that one was really fun to draw.
I love the color of it. And then that there's more than one Harpik. like that his family is there, like it's not just one of them. And then when he says, "Don't believe everything you hear, kid. Sometimes you gotta go find out for yourself." I feel like that's such an important message of like, it's good to listen to others for advice, but like sometimes you're just gonna have your own experiences and just like go out there, have the adventure, do your thing, and just don't just listen to everything you hear, especially now on the internet. But like just
Yeah.
get your own experiences. I feel like that's what I kind of, when I read that was the essence for me when I said that.
Yeah, that's like the whole point of the comic. So yeah.
Yeah, make your own mistakes, right?
I love how
Exactly.
it goes in between of like really dark scenes and very light scenes, and like just like a seamless transition between it. And like Tom and I have talked about it before, like how the colors almost give you the mood of how you're supposed to read it, or like how you're supposed to feel in this moment. Is such a cool thing about comics, which I'm still new to them. I'm still learning like how to really properly take them in and not just read them and be done, but like take the panel in, then read it, and like get the full experience. And I feel like this one did it so well with the darkness, like you like the one down here where you just see like the eyes in the back and stuff, like little moments like this, just having like the yellow eyes all of a sudden in the dark silhouette, like instantly gives you like a certain mood. They're not just there watching, like they're planning something just because of how the eyes look. Like little moments like this, I feel like you almost miss on the first read, and it's really cool to go back and reread comics to just like really get the most out of it, because I feel like there's so much that we are missing. On the next page, you guys are using something very typical for VeeFriends rarities when it comes to NFTs, lava and bubblegum. Was that something you brought in? Was that part of the story? Were you given? Could you pick which
It was
traits?
part of the story, and I didn't know until like maybe too long into drawing the comic. I was like, oh, so these were NFT designs. I thought he just did that kind of deal. But yeah, DJ wrote that in because he's like a little trickster demon, and like, why not bring in some more of the like past lore? I thought it was really clever in terms of writing on DJ's part, for sure.
That DJ guy, he's got a future in this comic stuff.
I think he'll do all right. I think he'll do okay.
He's the best. He's so much fun. Is he fun to work with?
Oh, he's so much fun. He's just so chill about everything. Like if I just call him like practically crying, I'd be like, I don't think I'll make this deadline, DJ. He'll just be like, that's fine. You don't always have to. It's all chill. And he'll like message me right away if I need anything. He's just so awesome. He's such an awesome boss.
That's great.
Yeah. I mean, it's like so evident from all of his stuff. He just cares about people. That's what he does.
Are there any hidden Easter eggs that you feel like people have not found yet that you were able to share?
That people haven't found yet? There's a few on the page with like the big wizard reveal with all the green lighting. I think there's one or two in there based from like, if you look at a few of the potion bottles, you might see something you recognize from another story and things like that.
Yeah, the bad intention wings thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I did. I have a note about that. Yeah, failed fairy wings. Yep.
It's very tiny and only half there, so.
But still, I even went. I saw that because we always do the reread before, or I always do a reread of the issue before we record, and it's my favorite thing. I've always, because I'm trying to pick things out to bring up on the podcast that I enjoy the comic so much more on the rereads. It's been so. I mean, like comic 3, we had a complete turnaround of feel and tone and all this stuff, and such a new appreciation going through stuff. So, I'm paying attention, and I did notice that. I saw Eye of. I don't know if that can't be an.
I think that was just me being like Eye of Newt or something. Yeah. General witchcraft talk.
Yeah. But I did notice that. I even went back to issue 2 to look at the panel of when Bad Intentions wings popped off to see if there's like anything there that was like brought forward, but there's not.
No, I think if you want more Easter eggs, I bet, I don't know for sure, but I bet DJ put a bunch in the Sunday comics about like Wizard's Journey. I only read those ones. I'm sure I'd find more Easter eggs on the reread because DJ loves doing that shit so much.
Are you like, sorry.
The fairy wings were in one of the Sunday comics, I want to say, recently. They show back up. I think somebody's picking up the fairy wings. I forgot who it was.
Were they? I can't remember. I was so focused on finishing my Sunday comics, I only like did a quick glance over like the previous two.
So you were freelance for 4 and 6. You were staff artist for 7. Like, are you now like very immersed? You know, pretty much all of VeeFriends. Like, do you know a ton of the characters now? Are you like up to date, caught up?
I know a ton of the characters. I won't say I'm up to date.
Okay.
But like, I'll admit I haven't done my due homework because usually they're like, here's a task, now draw for us. And I'll draw for like 8 hours a day and I'll get up from my desk. I'm like, I don't want to see any more VeeFriends today. When I said, I'm like, I'm going to really sit down with the website and read everything. But it's kind of funny. I learn a lot more about it from like my coworkers and things like that. Like when we went to the summit, I learned so much more about all the characters just hearing everyone talk about them than I would have just like reading the website and like how people feel about the characters and stuff, which is kind of more important, like which ones are popular, which ones connect with people for certain reasons. So I'd say like I probably don't know as much as you guys, but I think I know enough to hold my own. I'll at least give myself that.
Do you know enough to have a favorite?
My favorite right now, for completely selfish reasons, is Kind Warrior, which you'll find out about later.
This month,
yeah.
This month. Yeah, we got the Sunday pages releasing, so you can read the prequel stories.
Very
It'll
cool.
be good. Yes.
Super excited about that one. I think that's going to be it's a big character in VeeFriends for a lot of people. There's a couple of like maxis around it and stuff, so I think there's a lot of people are really excited about this one.
I know. I hope it doesn't disappoint because DJ let me fully write this one, so I wrote it and I drew it, which is really cool. But like, he's the exact archetype of character I like, so I just pushed everyone out of the way. Like, I have an idea.
And they're cool to just be like, cool, run with it. Like, I'm sure you have to like, pitch it or whatever, but they're very open to letting, you guys, if you want to write it, write it. So have you, aside from the independence, I mean, have you written many? I know you've been an artist on many, but like Refrigerator Girl, you wrote.
I didn't write that one. I helped script it, but that was written by Jennifer DK was the writer. She was new to comics, so I kind of helped her out there. My upcoming comic I have coming out called Devil in the Herd. I did completely write that one.
Okay.
I've written a lot of fan comics, like a lot of Star Wars fan comics. I've written a lot of that. So I'm like not shy to writing, but a lot of my writing is within like established universes that will never be published, like The Mandalorian or something.
I actually went to your site where it was like Vader and Leia talking between episodes 3 and 4, something like that, and then the Mandalorian stuff. So, that's cool. I was wondering, you've obviously done way more art than writing. So I was, I love that they're just like, yes, you can take on one of our biggest characters and write an issue for it. Like they're very okay with that, and that's really cool. That's what I would want. I love comics that the writer and artist are the same person, because it's like fully their vision.
Yeah, those are, I'm very biased in that term, but I always find out those are the stories I end up liking the most, because it's always more cohesive to me. Like you can tell most of the time.
Right.
And everything always at the end goes kind of through Gary too, right? Like when you write the story, it's kind of...
Yeah, it was, I came into the summit with the story for Kind Warrior, And DJ was like, well, just like don't get too connected to it. Like if Gary doesn't like it, it won't happen, basically. But with most ideas pitched, like Gary's pretty straightforward with which characters like he has ideas for, basically. And he also lets you know what characters he wants to do stories for, but there's like no story made yet. He's just like, I want to do something with this. And I didn't know how big of a deal Kind Warrior was, but Andy was mentioning it in a meeting, the president of VeeFriends, and he's like, well, if there's anything that embodies our brand, it's Kind Warrior for this reason and that and that and that. And I had just seen the Superman movie, which is like pretty much just about being like, hey, you can be like really tough and you can be nice. Isn't that cool, kids? So I was like all hope cord up on that. So I kind of just ended up coming up with something before the summit, and people went with it. People liked it. It's good, and that's just kind of how the creative team flows. If you just walk up and be like, all right, so I think this should happen for so and so, we'll all start building off of that, which is a lot of fun.
I love hearing that about Superman, because that was what was missing from Superman for so long.
For like so long.
And the Snyderverse and all that. It was just like, downtrodden, dark and gray. So now he's colorful, and what do you say, being kind is punk rock or something's punk rock.
Yeah. Maybe that's the real punk rock.
Yeah.
It was, I didn't like Superman for a really long time, because when I was little and moody, all of the characters I liked were really gritty and like beat up by the world. I'm like, why does everyone like Superman? He just does everything and he's nice. And it took me like growing up a little bit to be like, well, that's what makes him so awesome, is that he can do everything and he's still kind.
Right.
And it's so cute. He's so cute.
I've always been more drawn to the like street level gritty type as well. I'm Daredevil. Punisher, that type of stuff. So.
Oh yeah, so excited for the new Daredevil next year.
Yes, Reborn Part 2, and I want to get Anne to read some comics outside, and Daredevil Man Without Fear was on the list of ones for her to like start with. I feel like it's accessible. It's Frank Miller, so like it's 5 issues and not whatever. So that, what do you think?
You gotta, yeah. That's one of the quintessentials almost.
Right.
I still have to pick out the box of comics my husband apparently has in our garage that he had talked about.
Gotta go get them. Yeah, don't start with Born Again. That one's a little too deep. You need to know the characters more for that. Chip Zdarsky's run on Daredevil was outstanding as well, but there's much more continuity to consider with those ones.
Yeah, that's a more modern one.
Yeah, I'm really liking his Captain America run though too. I just like Chip Zdarsky a lot.
Fair enough.
I digress.
And I have all she answered all my questions and some without me even asking. I have other stuff, but I want to make sure
you know a couple of the characters now. Is there one you really would want to draw?
Like they already let me draw him. It was Kind Warrior. If there's a specific one, I really want to do a Halloween comic of Well-Rounded Werewolf. I think that would be so much fun. Werewolves are my favorite like creatures, and Halloween is like my favorite holiday. So if they just let me do that, I'd be so happy.
Would the well-connected werewolf, would he have a human form and turn into in your version?
In my version, yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
I kind of picture him as a kind of creepy, like Patrick Bateman type guy.
Yeah. I like it.
But I like Kind Warrior so far a lot. Maybe I just like drawing very big, muscular men, but that could be it. What do you think
of Gary's doodle or drawing? I don't want to be disrespectful of the Kind Warrior. He calls him doodle, so I don't want to put that down, but I'm looking at it now because I have the card right here, and I'm like looking at it, and like the diamonds on the knees. Like, do you have to look at that and be like, okay, I have to adapt that, or do you really work off of the series 2 art of it? Where do you?
It's a little bit of everything for me. It's an interesting process of trying to be like, well, which parts of like every part of him can I take and then put my own things in? Because like, if you guys have seen like the art, I don't know if they released the covers and stuff yet, like he looks very different in a way, yet I still hope it's paying tribute to everything. That's kind of how I view it. I'm like, how can I pay tribute to every part of it while making it new? Which is hard sometimes. I think my favorite thing we did from one of Gary's doodles was with the wizard. Gary originally drew him without a right hand. So when I was drawing the Harpik, they were like, well, we should make the wizard like an amputee, like he won't have a hand or anything. And I already sketched out a bunch of the stuff with him doing stuff with a hand. I'm like, what? Okay, so he'll have like a mage hand, like in Dungeons and Dragons and things like that.
Love that addition.
Yep.
I think that's one of the coolest things you guys did.
It was really fun. And then his other hand has long fingernails because he can't clip them.
See, that's smart. I didn't even realize. That's funny.
If somebody wants to break into making comics, is there some advice you have for people? Because I know there's a couple of people in the community now who kind of used to draw a lot and now kind of get that feeling back of like wanting to do it again. They kind of gave it up as kids and now wanting to get back in. Do you have any advice for people or how to break into it, where to start, maybe artists to look up? Do you have any advice for them?
The advice is always you have to draw a lot all the time. You don't do this unless like that's how you feel alive, is drawing. As far as books and things to look up and like courses, I always recommend Scott McCloud has phenomenal like the art of making comics books. Yeah, right there. Yeah. Understanding comics, like they're the invisible art. I mean, even when I was in college, like I'm a very rare comic artist in terms of I have an actual college degree in comic art, which you do not need. You do not need to go to art school. I promise you. Don't go to art school. No. But it wasn't until I was in college where I was like reading a lot of these materials we were assigned where I was like, oh, this is a lot more than just like cool action poses and things like that. There's so much that goes into storytelling. So instead of like just focusing on like being able to draw really, really well, which is a part of it, I think if you want to get into comics specifically, you really, really need to know how to tell a story in general, which is really hard to do, but it's like the funnest part to do. Like there's comics out there that are like so ugly. They're drawn so ugly, but people love them because they're a really good story. Essentially. That's why I think anyone could get into comics, no matter their skill level. Just don't use AI to draw your comics, is all I say usually. But yeah, just learn how to draw a story and read all of Scott McCloud's books.
Got it. What you mentioned Kirby and Ditko earlier as like early. Well, that's how you learned that it was a job.
Yes.
What artists would you say are like your favorite or most influential to you and your style?
Mike Mignola, absolutely, for sure. It's apparently very obvious in my work that he's a big influence. I don't see it, but like Hellboy's my favorite comic character of all time. Like I've got a print back there of him. I have another print back there. I have his hand up there that you can't see. And stuff like that. So like he was like the first comic I read where I was like, oh, this is how I want my things to look. This is what I want. Great kind of deal. And other big influences. I hate it when people ask me these because I always go blank.
I just think that for the people that are interested in getting into art or are new to comics, you know, they're going to learn about Hellboy now. And I have a long box with all of Hellboy, all of BRPD, something, a whole bunch
BPRD.
of. That's right. clearly I haven't read them. I haven't read a single one, and I have them all. So like, hearing stuff like that makes you spark, doing this podcast made me, I hadn't read for a number of years, but I still have thousands, mostly in collected or hardcover editions. And doing this podcast was like, you know what? I do want to get back into it and starting to read it and analyze it like I used to for decades. And I just started Invincible for the first time. And I'm now like on the 8th deluxe hardcover out of 12. So like I'm well past halfway through, and it's so good. I'm having so much fun again. It's like I'm remembering, and that's a faster, read. It was like an easy entry that rather than going a dense one, but it's a good entry. And now I feel like I'm back in it, because I'm doing this on a weekly basis, but also talking to people who are so passionate about it. I hadn't gone to a Comic-Con for a couple of years, so it's just reigniting me. So I'm hoping that we can do that. So I'm sorry for the question that you hate getting, but
no, it's okay. I'll probably like message Anne afterwards and be like, make sure he says I said all of these names because I forgot them. Kind of deal. But like that brings up like a good point of like, for me sometimes I feel like I have to read so many comics to like stay on top of where my favorite teams and stories are. And sometimes I'll come home with like a stack of 20 comics from the store and be like, oh, I have to read all of these. Yeah. And it really sucks when like something you love like kind of turns into homework. But then that makes it even more special when you find that story where it's like, oh, wow, that was really good. I want to like keep turning pages, and then you run out of pages and whatnot.
Yeah. That's what Invincible's doing for me, right? Because I again, if I went with something like, an Alan Moore or Swamp Thing, like it's dense, and I'm like, I don't know, like I feel like I would start drifting off on issue 1, and then I lose it, or I'm just reading it to get through it.
Yeah, I have to read those in like increments, all the Alan Moore Swamp Thing.
Yeah. I mean, they're so good.
They're so
good.
But
they're dense.
They are.
So, where, Invincible, I always turn to Brian Michael Bendis. I always found his stuff accessible and just fast. His Daredevil was one of my favorites, if not my favorite. So that's always been my go-to when I've been out of it, or it's starting to feel like a chore or homework. I'll read something like that because it's entertaining and fast-paced. Is it the deepest? No, but it's entertainment, and it gets me back to excited about it.
Well, you'd really like Hellboy, then maybe you should read them.
Shit.
If you have them all.
I've had them for like 5 years, and I haven't. They're all in the thing because there's other stuff. Ape Sapien, right?
Ape Sapien's pretty good. You don't have to read the extended ones. I won't make that required, but like all the like Hellboy omnibuses. So good.
That's what I have. Okay, I have the softcover omnibuses. So
yeah, so do I. They're all right here.
There we go.
It makes you feel better. I just found out that Jeremy and Ribs still haven't read issue A.
Wow.
A?
Issue A. Like I gave him crap about it.
Yeah,
you should.
Like, how dare you?
I like that one a lot.
I know. I'm like, you guys are missing out. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Welcome to the comic community. All we do is shame others. That's all we do here.
That's right. See,
we don't like comics, and we hate everyone that makes them. All of them. No one does it good enough.
God, I hate exactly how I wanted. Yeah. All right. We got it. We're turning Anne into a comic fan. There we go.
Perfect.
That was all my questions. So we can get into some games if you're up for it.
Well, I have a rapid fire type thing. So what I try to do every episode, I have forgotten once or twice, but I ask a community member to submit some questions, not for long answers unless you want to. This week is one of the biggest comic book fans in VeeFriends community that I know is Blaze. And I told him you were coming on to the show, and I asked if he had any questions, and he rapid fired 10. You don't have to answer all 10. You probably answered some of them already, but you up for it?
Yeah, I can try rapid fire. I'll try not to go on a tangent.
First comic remember reading.
Spider Girl #1 from my local library.
I love that. Do you cosplay? Which we know is the answer is yes.
Yes.
If you did, how would you go all out?
How would I go? Oh, I want to make a. There's a few. I can't do the thing. I can't do the voice. I'd be really offensive.
Oh,
My biggest all-out one is I did a Mandalorian full bodysuit armor a few years ago when we were still pandemic-y, but Metroid one would be really cool.
Oh, a Metroid?
Metroid would be. I think I'd like to do a Samus if I could.
See, you are a gamer. I knew it. Top 3 tools in your art box.
In my art box, this brand of pencil specifically.
Okay.
It's a Pentel. I forget its exact name, but that one has to be a Pentel.
We'll work on a sponsorship.
These white erasers. I don't buy any other erasers except these.
Okay.
And they're all worn down to the nub. And this is like my little guy. I call him Kevin. And he's my little model for me. I can bend him whatever shape I want.
That's
and
awesome.
Every artist should always be using references all the time. Don't ever draw from imagination. It's a waste of time.
See?
So he's my main reference.
And you probably learned that in art school.
Probably. I guess it was worth the money.
4 you answered, which was anyone wanting to get into comics. If you were not creating art, what would you be doing?
I was thinking about this the other day, and it's so hard for me to actually settle on something. I think I would either be a chef of some kind, or I would probably be running a family farm, honestly. I grew up on a cattle farm, so I probably would have never left the farm.
Okay.
So
I feel like cooking and artistry is so similar. I feel like a lot of artists would say I would be a chef.
They are. Yeah. A lot of artists turn out to really like cooking. So
I'm skipping one because I feel like it's a long answer and this is supposed to be rapid fire. You are asked to create the next big comic for Star Wars and choosing which would you choose for the setting? Hoth, Dagobah, or Tatooine?
Hoth.
Good answer.
I love Hoth.
You have a top 3 comic covers
of all time.
Just 3 of ones that you like.
Ones that I like. Oh, I have one. I have one right here. Hold on. I got this guy at New York Comic Con. Here we go.
That's your guy.
This is my guy. I love him. But
for anyone listening, it's a Fantastic Four cover. I don't know what issue. I can't read.
It's issue 51. I always say 48, and that's wrong. Yeah, issue 51 of Fantastic Four. This man, this monster. It's a story that's supposed to be about Ben, but he's not in it as much as he should be.
That's a misleading cover.
It is about him, and it's not. It's really good. It's fun. And other ones. It's not a cover, but Mike Mignola did this beautiful illustration. Oh, wait, I have it here as well because it's the background of my iPad for the Wolves of St. August. This is just one of my favorite illustrations of all time. But I don't think it was ever a cover. Those are my top ones.
Acceptable answer. All right. Would you do a Darth Jar Jar Binks series if asked? I told him you were a big Star Wars person based on your
only if it was really funny and it had really dark jokes in it. It had to get horribly dark. There has to be an Anakin killing children joke in it that Jar Jar makes, because that would be hilarious.
That would be good.
So yeah, Jar Jar was my favorite when I was a kid.
Was he? I mean, I think that's what the goal of his creation was to be.
Yeah, that's what he was for. My uncle, he ran a haunted house and he had a Jar Jar mask and he would let me wear it around on my little 5-year-old body. So just imagine a little tiny girl with a giant Jar Jar.
Oh God. And do you have any idea what we're talking about? Do you?
A little bit.
Okay. Have you
I
seen
I
watched
watched a
Star
little bit
Wars?
of Star Wars. My husband is a big Star Wars person.
Good.
Okay, go watch
feel like your
episode 1
husband-
after this.
There you go. Is that your like go-to comfort?
My comfort Star Wars movie is always Empire.
Empire.
Always Empire.
Classic. Best one for sure.
Best one.
Is there a VeeFriends character that is on your dream list? We already answered that. So
Yes.
thank you. That completes this segment. Good answer.
All right.
We have one more game. It's called Ditch or Pitch. Gary tells you we need a couple new characters. So we're going to tell you a couple characters and you say you're going to pitch it or you're going to ditch it. Would you pitch this one to Gary or not?
Okay.
The people-pleasing Python.
I pitched that one. I relate to that.
The boundary bear.
What kind of bear is he?
Let's
Well,
make
we
it
already have a polar bear. We already have a panda bear.
If I can make him an Asian sun bear, I'll do it. No other kind of bear.
deal.
Deal?
Okay.
Okay.
The
Is that the one that
comparison.
waves at people? I'm sorry. Is that the
Go
one
for
that waves?
Hey, I think they wave, but they have the little like V patch on their chests. They look like black bears, but they have like whiter tan noses, and they got a little V on their chests, and it's really cute.
It would be perfect. A
I
V
was
on
gonna
the
say.
chest, like,
Yeah, like they're already there.
can't believe I missed that one.
Yeah. Miss.
Terrible.
The comparison capybara.
Yeah, I'd pitch it. I love capybaras.
It's a good animal.
It's a good animal.
They're cute.
The attachment antelope.
I'd pitch it. I like antelope. I'm a yes man. What can I say?
The self-doubting sparrow.
Yeah, I'd pitch it.
Because I feel like it's a lot of traits that people have and that kind of have to like learn to deal with.
I think I
Yeah.
can make stories off of all of these, so
I
I
was gonna
don't
say,
see
I
the
think
problem.
The new game is try to find one that Kate wouldn't pitch. I don't know.
I
if
can
it's
make a
possible.
comic out of anything.
Which is great though, you know, like if you instantly have like ideas for something, it just shows your creativity. I feel like you just make it work. You know,
Yeah.
something is given to you and you just think outside the box, or like something comes up for you. I feel like it's a typical process of somebody I feel like who's creative. There is no I almost feel like for creative. It just
Yeah,
at some point just something clicks. Like you just can make something out of nothing.
exactly. We had a lot of assignments like that in art school. Like they would give us two separate things that we had to combine together. Like one of the assignments we got was kind of like this, where they gave us an animal and they gave us a business. Like my friend got an owl and a bank, and she had to like design an owl-like theme for a bank. And things like that. Like you're forced to make things work because that's what clients want.
It's like the art version of the show Chopped.
Yeah, exactly.
Fun.
Yeah,
Again,
you just whatever's on the table, you got to make something out of it.
there you go.
Sometimes.
It's like a MacGyver.
Yeah, that's how you get Alan Moore's Swamp Thing. You just let people cook.
There you
I
go.
love that. Awesome. So they're all making it.
They're all
They're all
making it.
making it. I'll do it. I'll do it, Gary.
How about pea salad? Give us your feedback on pea salad. Do you even know pea salad, the VeeFriends character?
I don't know a lot about them.
No one does.
No one does. I mean,
No
there's a
one
lot of those.
We have no idea. The series 1 is just 5 stick figure people. The series 2 is a pea pod with 4 peas in it. That's all we've ever gotten, right?
You know what? I'll make the most moving story you've ever read out of it. And we'll figure
It's
it out.
going to make me cry.
Yeah, that's
If you make-
my goal with Kind Warriors, so we'll see.
Well, I hope so. That I can see. If you can make me cry with pea salad, I'll be pissed, I think, actually.
Just pull a full James Gunn on it. It's like, this is a character no one's cared about or loved.
Right.
I'm going to make the most moving story you've ever seen.
God. P number 3 is the new Rocket. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
that's what
backstory.
it is.
Oh, my God. Okay.
Oh.
Okay, thank
This
you
was
so
That's
much.
really fun.
That's it for games?
That's
More
it.
pitches?
You can keep going if you want. thank you so much. This was so much fun.
Yeah, I liked it.
It was really
You guys
cool
will have to
get
have
know
me
you a little
back
bit.
for the other comics.
It was really cool to get to know you too. I feel like you're one of the newer team members, and then like we got to meet you at Comic-Con, which was really cool. But I know there's a lot of people who just didn't get to go, so I feel like there's people who just haven't got to see you yet. So we wanted to make sure the whole team gets to be on here at some point, and so we can just get to know you all.
Yeah, no one needs to go to New York Comic Con. It's too many people. That's fine.
It is. It's
I
a
love
lot.
it.
I mean, I
It's
have
a
a lot
lot.
of fun there, but it's a lot. I've had way more fun because I collect comic art as well.
Mhm.
And I've had way more success also at smaller, like regional type cons where it's like one day, you know, there's 30 artists instead of 500 or whatever it is there. So
Yeah, because you can go every day at New York and be like, oh, I didn't see that yesterday,
right.
Like every day.
Right. You have to go every day to see most of it, and you still can't see it all.
No.
But yeah, you were also super busy at Comic-Con. So like, even though I got to meet you and you were gracious enough to sign a bunch of comics, which I just submitted, by the way, for grading.
Cool.
You know, I didn't get to like talk to you at all. So you guys were running around, you were making content and doing stuff. So, and drawing, obviously, a lot.
We were doing a lot.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate, you know, that hustle and especially from the comics team there, you know, from DJ on down. Like it was such a fun experience. And the scavenger hunt of the stickers at the artist alley got people down there. That was like such a good idea.
It was such a good idea.
Yeah, it got people down because like I didn't realize people didn't go to artist alley. Like that's what I always went for. So
yeah.
You know, the year prior, VeeFriends was there, big presence, but people just hung around the VeeFriends booth and really didn't venture out or just kind of stayed on that main floor and didn't go down to Artist Alley, which is a big miss. I think a lot of people got exposed to it this year.
Yeah, that's all we want. That's what DJ wants. That's what the whole team wants. Like, just go look at artists and buy their things, please.
Yeah.
Go buy artist stuff.
Right. The amount of talent in one room is unfathomable.
Just imagine working in the same field and being like, we're both professionals. Oh.
We're the same. Thank you again. This was so much fun.
Do you have any final words, Kate? We always ask our guests if you have any final words you want to leave the audience with.
Snap necks and cash checks, y'all.
Love that.
Well, from all of us here at Is It Canon, I'm Tom. That's Ann. We have Kate Comics, and we always end off every episode by saying, "Hey, read more comics.
Read more fucking comics.
Read more fucking comics, or I'll be in your walls tonight." That's right, Tom. That's right.
Dramatic zoom. Thank you again, Kate.
Yeah, this was awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thanks for taking the time. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
Go make more awesome comics. We can't wait to read more of them.
I will do my best. Have a good night, you guys.
You're big fans here.
Bye.
Bye.
Before the recording.
Is it Windels or Windels?
There's no S. Window.
Window. There is an S.
Not on the comic. No freaking way. I just found
It's an S on the website.
It's an S on her cover. It's just not an S on the. Ooh, that no makes it more more.
We were just figuring out. I don't know if you heard it.
Yeah, that is in fact a typo.
Yeah, it's the only book it has a typo on it.
Did you know
never
that?
seen this before.
I did know that. Yeah. No, yeah. DJ was so excited to show me the copies, and I was like, well, a few notes.
Your first interior copy, right?
Yeah. I think there was one cover they had to redo. I don't remember which one, but someone misspelled Gary's last name.
Oh, yeah.
On like so they had to like message the printer like, wait.
Because it's spelled right on your cover. It's just Jim Mahfoud's. Yeah.
Yeah. So on the important cover.
Right.
I guess.
That's right. The rarer cover.
The
'cause of the
now
screw up.
rarer cover.
Yeah, yeah. But it's funny, on the website, it's spelled right
I'll take it.
on the Ma Food cover.
Really? So they
Yeah,
changed it
they fixed it
after the
after.
print?
Yeah.